Okay, today you will be working on writing percentages. We're going to start out with just a little warm-up right here. I'm going to get that written up for you. Converting between percents and fractions. Do what? Why don't we get them in here so they're not missing this, and then they can finish it. That's probably a good idea. They can finish it later. Let me erase this. Oops. It won't write on there. The ultimate goal of what we're doing now is you're going to be able to, you will convert between ratios, between fractions, and percentages. Okay, that's our ultimate goal. So if we start out, how do I take and convert 12/20ths into a fraction with the denominator of 100? How do I take 20 and turn it into 100? What do I multiply 20 by, Jaslyn?
Multiply 20 by 5, which means you have to multiply 12 by 5.
So I got to multiply 12 times 5. And what do you get when you multiply 12 times 5?
60.
60. Good. What about the second one? I think of that one as thinking of money. And I can do that one really quickly because if I've got 1/4 of $1, I actually only have a quarter. But I know I've got 100. And how many quarters are there in $1?
4.
Well, if I got one of them and I multiply it by 25, I'm multiplying both that way, okay? What about 15/25ths? What does the numerator become if we know that our denominator has to be 100? 25 times what is 100?
4.
25 times 4. Monique, what is 15 times 4? What is 15 times 4, Monique? Got your calculator?
60.
It's 60. Do you guys agree with her?
Yes.
Monique, that's very good calculating in your head. Very good. What about 33/50ths? It becomes what hundredths? 33/50ths becomes what hundredths? What's it going to be, Chance? 66 hundredths. How do you know that, Chance?
Because I put 50 times 2 equals 133 times 2.
Good. Good. Now, we said to go from 100, or from 20 to 100, we have to multiply by 5, right?
Yeah.
So 27/20ths becomes something hundredths. How many hundredths? 27/20ths, Kaylee?
135.
What was that?
135.
135. And our last one, 54/10ths. Multiplying 10 times what to get 100, Braden? 10 times 10. And multiplying 54 by 10, do you get 540? Okay? We're just taking numbers and converting them to a fraction with a denominator of 100. That's all we've done. Okay? Did you have a question, Jaslyn?
No.
Okay. The question that we want to make sure we want to be able to answer when we get done today is what is the connection between ratios, fractions, and percents? Well, first of all, what do we know about fractions and ratios? What connection do we have there, Mr. Cashton? They're the same. Ratios Because we know a ratio can be expressed 3 to 4 like a fraction, and a fraction is 3 parts out of 4 parts, right? These are parts, and these are parts. So this is kind of what we call the part to part. A fraction and a ratio both can be a part to part, a part to whole, or either one of those, right? What do you know about a percentage? Do you know at this point that connection between ratios and fractions and percentages? What do you know, Mr. Tyler?
They can all be turned into a fraction.
That a ratio or a percent? Tyler says, this is the first thing we know. Tyler says a percentage can be written as a fraction. Does anybody else know anything about that, or does that make sense to you? Can a percentage be written as a fraction? Okay. How? How do I write a percentage as a fraction? How do I do that? How many of you say, I don't know? Okay. And that's where we're headed, okay? That's what we're going to discover. Hold that thought, okay, Cashton? All right. Write the fraction of squares that are shaded. That's pretty easy. How many squares are shaded? Well, first of all, how many squares are there in the whole piece?
100.
100. Okay, so I got to have my denominator.
I was doing this on IXL.
So how many squares are shaded in A, Jaden? 30. Okay. Write the fraction of the squares that are shaded. Sweet. Write the next one. Do B. Chloe, what's the fraction of the shaded squares in B? 20 over 100. Thank you, I agree. And what is the fraction of the squares that are shaded in C, Cole? 25 hundredths. Write the ratio of those numbers that are squared, or in each one of the squares. So if this is my fraction, my ratio could be 30/100ths, couldn't it? Or I could even simplify that if I wanted to and say, if I wanted to, couldn't I? My ratio on the second one I could say is 20 to 100. That's a ratio, isn't it? And my ratio of the third one is still 25 to 100. Do you agree with me there? Just 3 different ways of writing ratios. That's pretty simple. Okay? We've talked about fractions and ratios being the same. When can you write ratios as fractions? Well, you can write them anytime you want, can't you? Okay, I'm going to move on. It just seems like a silly question to me. Now, what percent of each diagram in activity 1 is shaded? I'm going back up here. Actually, I'm going to go right here, because this is where we did all of our work. What percent of A is shaded? Well, I can tell you right now it is 30%. Why? Why do we say 30%? Braden.
Because whatever you take out of on the squares, there's 30 of 100 out of 100, and every percent equals 100.
Good.
And so you just take the numerator, add the percentage.
Yeah, as long as your denominator is 100, you certainly do. That works perfect every time. So what's the percentage in B, Josie? 20%, good job. So this is 20%. What's the percentage of C? Roper? 25%. That's pretty easy stuff. As long as my denominator is 100. Okay? Now let's go to this picture. What percent of each diagram below is shaded? Write each percent as a fraction in simplest form. Okay. First of all, you got to figure out the percent. So what is the percentage of A? What'd you say? 60? Because there are 60 shaded squares, right? Now, if I write that as a fraction, but it's got to be in simplest form. So simplify that fraction. Is that simplest form? Got to be in simplest form. Can you simplify it further? Simplify it down as far as it'll go. There you go. And this honestly is one of our equivalents that we do all the time. If I simplify 60 1/100ths, how many of you, as I walked around, I saw a lot of kiddos that had it to there. And they said, okay, I'm done. But are they? No, because 2 is going to go into it again, am I right? So the simplest form then is going to be 3/5. Does everybody agree with that? Okay, I'm just taking out of it and breaking it down. What's the percentage of B? What is B's percentage? Emmy? 8%. Good. What is its fraction in simplest form? Well, if I start out with the fraction is 8 out of 100, because we know it's out of 100%, what is the simplest form there? Ben, what did you get for simplest form?
4/25.
Ben says 4/25.
No, you can go down. It's 2/25.
Yeah, I think it is 2/25. If I divide 8 by 4, I get 2. And if I divide 100 by 4, I get 25. There again's that money, 100 pennies or 4 quarters, okay? What's my final percentage? What is C's percentage, Esri? 51%. That fraction is 51 100ths. Is it in simplified form?
No. Yeah, you could do 5.1.
No, but it's not what it asked. A fraction doesn't typically have a decimal in it, does it? No. So the simplified form is exactly where we're at. Okay? Easy peasy? Okay. This is what we did. Okay, what is 2/5 as a fraction? It says to draw the model to represent the fraction. Well, if we got to draw it, can I do this? Is that good enough? That's my shaded. I got 2 out of 5 shaded. So how would I shade my 100 squares? I went from 5 to 100. How do I take And what do I multiply 5 by to get 100? Tyler?
20.
Times 20?
Yeah.
So I need 20 squares then? Is that what I need?
No, 40 squares.
Oh, I need 40. You're right. So I'm going to go, do you agree right here? Okay, I got it all colored in. And we said that's 40. Right? Okay. So what's its percentage? 40%. Good. Okay, I want you, I'm gonna have all my drawings. I like this better. That's my 40%, isn't it? Got it. Okay, so now, on B, you have to draw the models. On B, you get to draw the model. They didn't draw it for you, you have to.
Why do you have 17? I don't have 17.
Yeah, you have 7/10 on this one.
It's not on this. It's blank. It's got nothing above the 10.
Everybody over here's got 7/10.
I have 17.
Oh, it's because of the fold. Something happened when it folded, so write the number 7 there. It's okay. Create your drawings. You get to draw. You've got to model 7/10, and then model whatever the hundredths is. And if you do the hundredths, that's good enough for me for the percent. You don't have to draw 3 models, but you do need to draw 2. I don't know what we got in here. I think that's the same as the last one I did, so I think it was 33. Yeah, because it was 32 and a half, and I just threw an extra half. That's okay. That means there's a stop. It'll be fine. All right? Trust me. I wouldn't tell you that if it wasn't so. Okay? All right, have you got your models drawn? Okay, so if I'm doing 7/10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
One more. That's what I did.
Okay, so I'm going to 7 of them. I'm going to go like this. Okay, you agree? I got 7/10. Now, the 70 tenths, because that's our next one, right? 70 100ths. And you know what? I don't really care about drawing a lot of these because the idea about these is it helps to solidify in you what is going on. It's the only reason why we do them. I don't like drawing them. And then we're going to draw the 100 this way. I got 10 there. They're not very good, but we got it. And then I got to do 7 of them. I can go from here. Okay, got it. We're good. Okay, so I have 70/100ths, which is the same thing as 70%. Okay, the whole idea of the drawing is to help you see. Percent is always out of 100. Always, always, always. Okay? We're not drawing. If these say draw, we're not doing it. Now, change this. Rewrite this fraction to a percentage. Get it done for me. You don't have to draw anything, you just have to write it as a percent.
Out of 100?
Well, what did we say about percent? It's always. So what would the percentage be? Job. Yep. What is 3/5 as a percentage? And that one you guys should just know because again, it's on your equivalents. What is 3/5 as a percentage, Chloe?
60/100.
Correct. I agree. Absolutely correct. What is 3/4 as a percentage? Again, you should know it. It's on our equivalents. What is it, Ben? 75%. Now, as I walked around, let me see whether we get one that goes there. Hang on a minute. Let me see this one. Let's just look at this one. As I walked around, I seen some people using a calculator to figure it out. What are they doing on a calculator that's giving it to them? Any idea? Are they doing the multiplication, you think, that way? Okay. Josie?
They're doing whatever numbers on the bottom divided by 100.
Oh, to figure out how to multiply? Okay, I agree with that. That's one way. So in this one, it's what percentage? What percentage is this one? What's it going to be, Miss Esri? Esri says it's 12%. How do you know, Esri? 12/100ths, 12%. Okay? What if I give you this one? What if I give you, do I want to do that? Let me see if I want to do that. No, hang on a minute. What if I give you something that looks like this? Can I use your calculator to figure out the percentage? You got 3 out of 7 answers correct. What is your percentage? And if you've been calculating your percentage all year long on your homework, you know exactly how to do this because you've been doing it. What did you say, sir? He says it is. Is he correct? 23%. Is he right, folks?
Yep.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. If you did it, you know. How'd you get it? Oops, not if you did it that way, it's not right.
I got 42%.
Same here. It's 43 because of the way that you rounded.
Oh, let's take a look. This is a division statement, but it's the numerator divided by the denominator, so 3 divided by 7. And you get a decimal that reads what, Kaylee?
0.428.
I'm only going that far because it keeps going. Okay? Percent is out of how much? 100. Isn't this the 100th place? So I need to round for my percentage to the nearest 100th. So my percentage then is, okay? All right. Let me see this before I'm gonna decide whether I'm gonna give this to you or not. We didn't get the last slide done, so let me look. This is 5.6. I gotta see what the assignment is. Yep. Yes, you can do this assignment even though we didn't get this last slide. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Do you want me to put my